All right, everybody, welcome to our latest Live Motocross podcast. As I'm joined again by former star racer Jackson Richardson, who keeps bringing the heat with his banter of late. Obviously, that Cole Davies one was excellent of late. He's certainly ripping that 250 class. But yeah, for this one, we'll be talking all things East Rutherford from a wild round of action on the weekend. But before we welcome Jats, we'd like to obviously thank everyone for listening and supporting the site. And we'd also like to thank our partners in Fly Racing at Dirt Store and Phil Silkaleen for all their incredible support, as without them, none of this would be possible. All right, welcome, Jats. How's life? And thanks for joining us, mate. We've had a couple of weeks off, had a bit going on, but we're back into it, mate. So how are you?
Oh, mate, been doing well. Yeah, yeah. We took a bit of a hiatus from the pod, and I mean, really, all I've been doing is I've just been head down, ass up, and working tirelessly on the golf game, and we've been making improvements there. So shouldn't be too long now before I could probably get me PGA Tour card, and maybe we'll be up there. But nah, just been grinding on the golf game. Really, I've just been going ham sandwich on that.
Oh, mate, the Easter long weekend. From all reports, you crushed it on Friday. We were thinking about doing a pod then, but you were just too busy smashing the competition at the local, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I was actually shoot that one. Yeah, I did the comp on Friday, and I've come so close to winning a few of them, but I just can't put a complete full game together. I've done it the opposite way now. There was one week I started bad, finished good, and then the other week I started good, finished horrible. And yeah. And then I ended up getting I podium both times. I got a third and a second. Like I got a second on Friday. Old mate got me by a point, so I was absolutely fuming. But you know what? We got a good payout. Like we got $50 one week, $40 the next week. So I'm basically getting paid to play this game now. So you could say I'm on my way to being a pro.
Well, mate, it's better than the privateer programs in motocross, some of them, isn't it?
Oh, hey, that's it. Yeah, I'm probably, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm probably making just as much like net profit as I was when I was a privateer over the last few years. So it's something to hang me hat on for sure.
Yeah, mate, well said. Keep it up, mate. Keep grinding. I'm sure you'll be leaving the building game pretty soon, mate.
Yeah. Oh, if I keep going this way, mate, yeah, won't be long before I hang up the tool belt and then be putting the khakis on full time.
Bloody awesome. Can't wait, mate. But yeah, on to East Rutherford, mate. What was your takes on it? Obviously, a really gnarly track. Pretty peaky, pretty sketchy. Definitely kept the guys honest, didn't it, mate? But yeah, the day race also as well. Your take on those as well. Obviously, not the same vibes as the night racing. Probably not as better experience for the fans, but better for TV. Probably better for the riders. Get out of there early. But yeah, how was it from your perspective, mate? That two whoops was definitely the separator, allowing Chase to get the job done. As you know, I was talking to JT, and he was adamant that that would be the separator, and it's so it proved, mate. So I guess statement performance by Chase. Just give us your take on the whole event, the day racing, the two whoop sections, track, anything you want to mention.
Yeah, no, like East Rutherford, yeah, I mean, straight off the bat, I mean, I'll be honest, I did not like that track design or layout one bit. I really didn't like the way it was put together. It was really stop start. And yeah, some of the rhythms there, yeah, it was super awkward. They made like the jumps seemed to be real like peaky at this particular one for some reason, yeah, like they made them real peaky, especially that first rhythm. That first rhythm section caused a lot of like chaos throughout the day. And then yeah, like unfortunately Joe Robin took a massive spill, so like prayers up to him and hopefully he's on his road to recovery. I mean, that was just brutal, but like there was a lot of other guys too that took some nasty spills on that one. And yeah, the track was real stop start for me. It didn't really make the best for like racing. And yeah, it was just like the way it was, like the track just seemed like real slow. And I even like it seemed tight on the broadcast, but then like even like the day before I was watching like the Vital and like Racer X watching them do press day and I was thinking, geez, this track is tight. Like like it's just crazy tight. There's not really much room to like do anything in there, and it seemed like everything was like pretty close together. So like if you were gonna short something, you were gonna like nosedive into like the next one. There was absolutely no room for error in those rhythm sections. So yeah, But yeah, as far as the racing goes, like it was like yeah, it was like the races weren't like crazy. Like it was probably one of the more like subpar races, like really in terms of excitement. But like the quality of riding, like from Seth Hammaker and Chase Sexton, like those guys, like they both made like massive statements that weekend. And I mean, especially more for Chase, like winning two races back to back, and like especially in this one being in dominating fashion. He just had Coop handled this weekend, like especially in those whoops, he was just killing it. Like the whoops was so gnarly, and he was just killing them every single lap, and yeah, pulled out a massive gap, got the win, and like now we got a like real title fight on our hands now. Like just when you thought a couple of weeks ago with the issues he was having, and then like it seemed like you go, here we go, Coop's got the upper hand on him now. He's mentally defeated him, but now he's come back. He's won two races in a row. He dominated him in the race that's just happened. And yeah, now we're coming into the nitty gritty here, where there's three races left, or two, three to go. Yeah, three to go. Man, this is anyone's game. And I mean, yeah, Chase over the last 2 weeks has just looked like he's just unfazed one bit and is just focusing on the job at hand. So it's going to be interesting. Be interesting to see how Coop responds this weekend. Like we got another outdoor stadium with another threat of rain. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff over the weekend.
Yeah, you wouldn't definitely had Chase winning by 15 seconds, lapping up to eighth in a dry race. It was a real masterclass statement of intent, like you said, mate. And the battle rolls on, and I guess all he's got to do is just keep winning out, mate. But he definitely had the speed edge. The lines were dialed, the whoops were. He was just a cut above everyone this weekend. So it just shows what an unbelievable rider he is, really. But yeah, massive boost. Gained a little mental edge as well. Obviously, he did the finger guns the week before. So he's obviously
Yeah.
feeling confident, mate. And he managed the race really well, which was so impressive. No issues. It was just a consistent, no front tucks. It was a real turning point for him. So once he gets that start, he can just put a complete performance in. It's hard to stop him. But, those two of the final three rounds will suit him. The upcoming weekend with the threat looking like it could be weather affected. Be interesting to see. That'll be the one that Webb will be narrowing into, get that points extension on him because it's hard to see anyone else really taking points off either of them, aside from maybe AP at the moment, who's in absolutely elite form, isn't he?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and yeah, AP once again put on another good performance. He's had a couple podiums now this season, and yeah, just really a bad start's what's keeping him out of the mix at the moment. Like he seems to be coming from the back like most of the time, but yeah, he's able to make his way through, and he looks like he's really found his form a bit over the course of this season, which is awesome to see because like yeah, he is like, yeah, I feel like he just hasn't really met his expectations. So it's good to see him like coming alive, and he got that win in shoot, which one was the mud one? Philly? Nah,
Foxborough.
Foxborough. Yes, yeah, it was good to see him get a win in that one. Hopefully, we'll get to see him. Like I believe, 100% believe he'll win one, like in like pristine conditions. It's just all about getting the start for him. But yeah, no, it's because yeah, like right now, like you said, you can't really see too many other guys getting in between them. And like yeah, so like for Chase, like he's really got no option but to win out here, just to like know for sure. Because like you got to think like if he doesn't win, like Coop's there like to win. He's going to do no worse than second at this point. He's just way too consistent. But I mean, we have seen crazy stuff happen this season. So I mean, hey, who knows? I mean, anything can happen at this point. I'm not counting
Yeah, mate.
anything out.
Yeah, and obviously as a racer, you've experienced being in the midst of a title fight when other guys are going for it. You can see that the dudes don't want to get involved. So there's probably more of a you're just getting out of the way, aren't you? Was that's what you would from an ex-professional racing standpoint, you want no part of it. Like you could imagine Roxon wouldn't want much of a part of it battling with those guys too much either. So they're kind of just letting them play out a little bit, aren't they, a lot of the dudes?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, especially more in that 450 class more than anything. I think the guys in that class have a real good understanding of like what's going on around them. So like, no one's gonna try be a hero and like put themselves in the middle of it and yeah, do something crazy. So yeah, nah, it'll be interesting to see like what happens here because yeah, I mean, just from what I've seen over Chase the last 2 weeks, like I mean, I didn't necessarily expect it to happen, but yeah, the way he's responded has just been unreal, and especially like in a dominating form, like at East Rutherford, like he just rode a methodical race. It didn't even look like he broke a sweat really. Like he was just smooth, consistent, picking the like picking off the laps. He didn't look like he was like trying to like make something happen, like do a sprint race, which they talked about on the broadcast. His dad is his practice mechanic, and they've just been working long motos, like very rarely any sprint stuff. Like it's just been focusing on long motos because yeah, for him it just like he's got the fitness to go 20 minutes, no problem. But it's like sometimes it's more the mental side of it, like just being able to concentrate that whole time and not mentally checking out, which we've seen it happen to him like in the past like multiple times. So yeah, it seems like he's got a bit of a handle on it right now, which could be dangerous for Coop. Because I mean, like as far as speed goes, like Chase has got him covered like 100%. I think that's pretty fair to say. But yeah, mentally he just never had it together. But it seems like he's got that worked out now.
Yeah, he's got that momentum and finishing a season strongly as well, for sure, mate. Well said. And obviously, Webb obviously was admitting that, he got absolutely waxed on the weekend. He obviously needs to come out and do better. He's actually faster than him in qualifying, which is an interesting sort of case. You don't get that too often. But Webb mentioned a couple of rounds ago, he really wanted to halt Chase's momentum, and he did that. Whereas now it's sort of the tables are turned a little bit, and it's still all to play for. And be a
Hmm.
weird approach for Webb heading in because he's been in control of it, but there's a lot of pressure, I guess, for both men, but more so for Webb. So for you personally, mate, who do you give the edge to? And it comes down to, starts, weather. Obviously, mindset's massive. Webb's an absolute warrior with that, but Chase is holding his own well and truly, mate. So who do you personally have?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, it's hard to go past Coop, honestly. Like, although it is shaky, it's probably about 60-40. I reckon. I'd give the edge to Coop just from like being in that position, like in a close title fight a few times, like being been there, done that, and having success in that situation. I mean, Chase has obviously got a championship, but circumstances were a little different. Like guys got injured. He which hey, there's that part of it where hey, you got to be there, you got to be in it to win it, and like no one can take that away from him. But like I feel like he gets criticized by that a little too harshly by like fans and that, like just being like, oh, if Tomac was there or Jet Lawrence was there, like this wouldn't have happened. But especially like now with a guy like Coop, multi-time Supercross champion, like is known as one of the most mentally resilient fellas out there, and he's just handing it to him in a critical part of the season when he was almost down and out. So now, yeah, he's fought back and like, yeah, it seems like he's got it all together now. It seems like so. Yeah, I reckon the second last round will be interesting. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in Pittsburgh, like with the weather and all that. Like if it's a wet race, like I kind of got to give the edge to Coop in that instance because yeah, Chase has like struggled with the wet races before, even though he has won them before. But yeah, like that, I almost thought that one at Foxborough was going to be a massive killer for him just because he was like, Webb was down and out the whole time. Then all of a sudden he puts together a last lap for the ages, jumping everything, like gained a minute on Sexton. Like it was crazy. And like you think that'd like mentally just kill someone. But yeah, no, he's fought back. He's clawed his way back to within single digits. So yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, well said, mate. You mentioned a lot of those big heavy hitters, and before we get back to the Supercross, I'd love your take on outdoors and how exciting that's shaping up to be. Obviously, Prado's back on the bike, Lawrence brothers back on the bike, Tomac's back on the bike. You throw Chase in the mix, you throw AP, J Coop, so many really awesome riders, mate. And even RJ Hampshire stepping up to the 450 if he's healthy enough. Obviously, he's still battling a few of those issues, but how good's outdoors going to be, mate, if they can all stay healthy?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Like this is gonna be like one of the better like outdoor seasons I feel like we're gonna have in a long time. Cause yeah, like we got guys like usually it's sort of the opposite. Like I mean, unfortunately this year we've had just a ton of injuries like throughout the Supercross season, like right at the beginning. Usually it's kind of the opposite. Usually a couple of guys go down, and like I think it's fair to say motocross isn't really the championship that everyone. I mean, I'm sure like the guys want to win it, obviously, but you pick one if you want to win one championship, you go a Supercross championship 100% because the bonuses are better, the prestige is better. The motocross championship is kind of like a little bit of an afterthought, but yeah, now that like a couple of guys have been out for close to more than half of the Supercross season. Like yeah, and a lot of big name guys like Prado went out in like round three. Jack got hurt at round four. Hunter a round later. So yeah, those guys will be itching to get back into it. And then like with Webb and like Sexton being on the like going as good as they are, them leading into the outdoors championship. It's going to be exciting, and like you don't really know where anyone's going to be at really because yeah, the guys who were out injured have only just come back on the bike. They've just started testing. How up to speed are they going to be? You would think like Coop and that would be like still really good, obviously coming into the outdoor season, but they're right in the thick of a Supercross championship. And sometimes when that happens, the outdoors season kind of takes a back seat, as we've seen in the past. Like if guys are in a close championship fight, they usually typically start the outdoor season not so hot. So yeah, it'll be interesting. There'll be a lot of parity this outdoor season, I reckon. It's not just going to be like a one man show, I reckon. There's going to be multiple guys that can have a chance to win.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I reckon it's shaping up really well. The anticipation's building, and you also see guys like Mookie and Ferrandis super fast. Barsha always
Yep.
gives it a good crack, so it'll be really good mix of names up there too. And then the 250 class will just be absolutely wild. Obviously, Deegan is a favourite, but who knows what sort of progression Cole Davies and Hammaker can
Yeah.
make outdoors as well, mate. It's going to be unreal. So we'll get back to that pretty soon because it's not really a month away, and we're into that too. But I guess some other key points from East Rutherford, mate. Jay Coop was sick, but he's just jumping those whoops, mate. If you're unwell, it's not easy. Obviously, a home race for him, so that wasn't ideal, mate. But I guess there's a mindset of jumping whoops and skimming them is tough. You've been there, mate. You've seen it. It's hard to probably get out of when you're very effective and accomplished at doing it. But you just, like I think the time difference was 6/10 between Cooper, Webb, and Chase doing it. So you
Mm.
lose a lot of ground, but he's still an amazing rider. Barsha was on the limit looking for that podium, wasn't he? Got that nasty kick and tough as nails getting back up on that. But he wants a podium this season, doesn't he, mate? Shaping up
Yeah.
with a good battle with AP there, wasn't it?
Yeah, nah, 100%. Yeah, it's like, yeah, the jumping through the whoops thing. I mean, in some cases it is. In some cases, I mean, we see it way more nowadays than what we did like years ago. It was either you skip the whoops or like it was nothing after that. Like jumping wasn't even a thing. And like now, like especially with the way things have progressed, they like guys will actually purposely practice jumping through the whoops because like there's a like and J Coop obviously, even though it's a little bit of a disadvantage in some ways, like he's one of the better guys at jumping the whoops, and sometimes that is the fastest way, and like it's less risk, and but yeah, once and it's hard too, like especially like and it's hard too, like it's sort of like you know, a device that just all of a sudden goes back into factory settings. And like his factory setting is obviously once the whoops get a little bit gnarly, I got to go back to jumping. Yeah, and like I reckon it's got to be more of a confidence thing more than anything. I feel like because obviously the Yamaha is a really good bike, and they've and I mean we've seen it with Coop as well. Even though he got dominated in the whoops on the weekend, he's made a massive jump in his whoop skill, I believe. Like
Mm.
he was always one guy that was always first to start jumping through stuff as well, but he's upped his game. So yeah, it's just I feel like with the whoops, it's more of a confidence thing more than anything. If you don't have that, like you're gonna be behind right from the get go. Because yeah, like you can have a good bike and all that, but if you don't have everything right up in here in the brain, then yeah, it's an uphill battle. But yeah, I mean he's been progressing. He's had a couple of podiums. He's had an awesome season, put together a good haul of points, and then yeah, like just like being crook on the weekend. Unfortunately for his home race, I'm sure he would have liked a lot better result being from around that area. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him on the podium again here soon. Like hopefully he gets back to 100%, health wise, and then yeah, I dare say we'll see him back up there.
Yeah, well said. Obviously, confidence and being healthy is so important. And for Anders is, he's had a little uptick now, which is good. Getting fifth, no mean feat in that class. Obviously, a lot of talk that he's got that factory transmission now, which is a massive help. Getting those little extras, it all helps to make you feel more confident, and it is beneficial, genuinely too. So to get that extra support, knows that you're being taken notice of, and they're willing to oblige him. And then Mookie getting sixth, I believe he started like way back. So to get that's pretty impressive on a track that was pretty hard to pass, like you said, mate. And pretty cool they're doing that ESPN Plus documentary on him too. So bit of credit and
Mm.
respect coming his way as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I had no idea they were even making that, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get on and that'll probably be what I'll watch tonight. And yeah, give that a watch and have a look because yeah, it looks like a pretty cool film that they put together for that. I mean, anything to do with like ESPN, like documentary wise, like I'm all for. Like I'm a big fan of the 30 for 30 documentaries that they put out. Like that's by far like my favorite sort of production, like in terms of sports docos. Yeah, so yeah, no, it's cool and it's awesome for the sport too to like have that because motocross and supercross doesn't have too much to do with ESPN. So it's good to see, like, yeah, that they're getting like one of our like big name riders on there and telling their backstory and all that. So yeah, nah, it's awesome.
Yeah, mate, well said. And obviously some words on you, good mate Dino. He's back out there on the HRC field in the last couple of weeks. Well, we haven't spoken since he did the Grandpa Earl stuff, but yeah, great to see
Yeah,
him out there. He's good value, bounced back for ninth. The arm pump's pretty brutal, but yeah, he's a great addition to the sport no matter where he finishes, isn't he?
yeah. Oh no, that's it, man. I mean, it's so awesome to see him out there and like, yeah, yeah. I put the Ric Flair video out there because it was meant to be the last season and all that, and then I'm like, man, this guy he ain't ever gonna hang him up. And yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, he had a rough first one over in Philly. Like, I mean, that it was a tough track to have your first race back at too. I mean, that was absolutely brutal. But yeah, the big fella struggled with a bit of arm pump. But yeah, like bounce back. Like you got 17th at Philly. Like it's a massive jump up to ninth this weekend. So yeah, it's just putting it all together. And I mean, it's tough too. Even though Dino has done a fair bit of racing this year, it's mostly been arena cross stuff. Like nothing as crazy and as intense as AMA Supercross. And it's like, and yeah, like I don't know how much preparation he had or how many weeks he had to prepare on that bike. I mean, I'd imagine that would have been a challenge, but there's just nothing like being out there racing with those guys and like having everything going on around you. And like I definitely know that from experience too, is like when I was at my best, like when I had my best results, I was just racing all year round. Like whether it was like, just one-off races, even local races. Because I used to still get nervous when I was at a club day as much as when I was at Supercross. Like I still get the same nerves, so it's just good to have that. It's just good to have that seat time out on track because there's just nothing like it. You just can't replicate it.
Yeah, building the base. That's what, so many people say is staying healthy, building a base, getting gate drops, building that momentum is just so important. And obviously, in a sport like motocross, like the dudes in F1 and MotoGP don't race or drive those machines every day, but in dirt bike racing, you do. And a lot of blokes
Yeah,
just love hitting the track like Hurlings will hit any race he can. He'll practice as many days a week as he can because he just want to feel as connected and as in control of that bike as possible, mate. So that obviously resonates with you too.
yeah, nah, 100%, mate, absolutely, yeah. And you see it with like I know it's like with the V8 supercar drivers over here because their schedule is pretty spaced out. Like it's almost kind of like the Aussie series. There's almost like a month in between each race. So those guys are racing like, a motorsports race over here, or they race karts, like they race go-karts, like do their shifter kart races and all that. And like all that, it's like yeah, the cars are different, but yeah, the mentality is like the same. You're competing with other guys, like, and yeah, it's just a lot different than like, practicing with guys at the practice track. You know, at those days, some guys, you can sort of be like, well, like I'm not going to risk it too much, so we'll back it down a little bit, this and that. But when you're out there in a race, when everything's on the line, like it's just a completely different animal. So yeah, yeah, there's just no way to prepare for it. I mean, we talked about it when we had Benny on that
Mm.
time, and like he talked about it too. He's like, you can do all the cycling, all the gym work, all the laps at the practice track that you want, but there's nothing like being on the bike and racing. Yeah, you just can't prepare for it.
Yeah, mate, well said, absolutely. And yeah, those 250 guys on the weekend in the East, mate, it's shaping up really well. Obviously, the Hammaker, Hampshire, Vial, obviously start and track position condition that one a little bit. But Seth, so impressive. The season rolls on for him. Obviously, that food poisoning in Detroit, definitely regrettable for him losing those points because he'd have a nice cushion at the moment. But yeah, respect to him for changing the program, going out to the dog pound with Burner, Dazzy Lawrence and all that crew. He's made huge improvements. He's getting those starts, and these are like a little bit of a home swing of rounds for him. Obviously, Philadelphia was the main one, I believe, but they're sort of in that region, so he's really riding that wave at the moment. And all reports are from Pittsburgh's going to be excellent in terms of ticket sales and should be a really great race there as well. So he's found that consistency and that top form, top level consistency. So the momentum's all there for him, and he's kind of losing that erratic sort of performances like a lot of those PC guys, and him and he's fulfilling that potential really well. And it's come around pretty quick. Like it's gone from a bit all over the shop to dialed pretty quickly. So that program's worked wonders, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, what a big jump for him. Like especially because he, like he had like just troubles with injuries, like to start his career off, and like could never make it through a full season. Like had speed, but
Mm.
like you just never knew whether he was gonna like put it all together and like make a run at it. But man, like just from what I've seen out of him over the last couple of weeks, has been unreal. And you know what? His style, like you watch him ride, and I've seen him in like some videos at the dog pound, and I watch him ride, and like you don't watch Seth Hammaker and go, oh wow, that's like that looks so fast. It to me it doesn't look really fast or sound really fast. He's not a big it's completely 180 from Hayden Deegan with the way he looks on the bike and the way the bike sounds. Like I mean, Hayden Deegan's revving the piss out of the thing, but Seth Hammaker's doing it in a much more, it seems like, efficient way, and it seems like it's just as fast. Like yeah, just the way he rides and like the way he put that main event together on the weekend was awesome. He just got out in front, just clicked the laps off, let the guys do whatever they want to do behind him, and just rode his own race. And like yeah, it was just such a well put together race, like from start to finish. Like yeah, and like him just getting the confidence, and then especially like being in a tie with RJ, who's been in this position before and has a championship under his belt. So yeah, no, that was a big step for him, and now they're going to his hometown race this weekend. So yeah, like yeah, it's going to be interesting, and like you thought Vial sort of was going to figure things out by now, but then he has that one bad race in the mud race, ends up scoring pretty much no points. Everyone catches up to him. and then these boys get like a second wind, and they get confident, and yeah, now it's just yeah, it's close as, and RJ has been riding good, but from what we're hearing, he's still struggling with his wrist. Apparently, that's still bothering him a fair bit. So yeah, I don't know who to pick at this point. I mean, at the moment, just off recency bias, you'd have to think Hammock is the one that's gonna bring this thing home, just with how he's looked, and yeah, just the confidence he would have got from that race, like 100%.
Yeah, it's shaping up good, isn't it? Like, Seth hasn't got the titles like the other guys have got, but he's certainly riding like the veteran, and Vial, it's kind of hard to see him unless the other dudes have really bad nights because he's not getting those wins to claw the gap back, and we were just running out of rounds. So he's still in it. The consistency's always good, held him in good stead last year and most of this year, but you feel like Seth and RJ have got the wins in them more so. So it'll be pretty good. And then Thrasher, with his elite speed, can throw a spoiler in and win at any time. And obviously, another man that has exited the title fight is Chance Hymas. That was a brutal hit as well,
Yeah.
really nasty one. And he had that Ghost Rider the bike
Yeah.
earlier in the show as well, mate. So not a
Yeah.
memorable one for him either, was it?
Oh yeah, but he had an excitable weekend. Chance Hymas did. I mean, yeah, the Ghost Ride in practice. I mean, I did a similar one like that a couple of years ago at India, I remember, and it was exact carbon copy. But luckily, there was the start straight in between the finish line jump and the corner I'd just come out of. So I didn't get the opportunity to ghost ride my steed off the finish line jump. But that crash that he had in the main, that was a brutal one. And you know what? Like, because I watched it happen live, and like the way it happened, like it happened so fast. Like he didn't even have a chance to like brace himself for it. Was just like he landed in the right position, bars were turned, and then like it just threw him, like the bike just stuck and he just got ejected off the thing. So yeah, it was weird because I watched it back in the slow mo replay, and I was just like, man, it didn't seem like he like cased it that hard. It must have just been he just had the bars turned to get ready for the corner, and it just clipped it at the right time, and like that was like one of those things where I go back to the track design, like they were just too piggy. It was either like, and some tracks are like that. It's like you got to be like you can't like misjudge in one bit because you're either over jumping, landing, going off track, or you're casing it, possibly going over the bar. So yeah, it's tough. And then those landings get G'd out too because everyone's landing under brakes, so you get a bit of a square edge on there, which that he probably could have got caught out by that too, like with the bike sticking. So yeah, it was a bummer too because like yeah, he just got a win. He was by no means out of the championship hunt, and yeah, unfortunately now it's like yeah, it's pretty much game over for him, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll see. He ended up riding back to the pits. I don't know how banged up he is after all that, but hopefully we see him back for the next one.
Yeah, well said, mate. Some good opinions and insight in there for sure, and just those little nuances that they develop the tracks. That was a particularly gnarly one, mate. And I guess as final thoughts on the 250s, obviously shout out to Cullen Park getting fifth, obviously Volan sixth, Faulkner seventh. Great to see him have a really positive ride after a season that's been pretty much full of up and downs. And then Miller eighth, Simonson on his return ninth, and Luke Neese in 10th, mate. So some pretty cool, interesting names up there in the top 10, mate. It's no mean feat getting a top 10 in any of these classes, mate. So respect to them all. And yeah, some pretty good riders in that 250 East showing what they're capable of. And it's always good to put your name out there, mate, because you never know when a factory seat comes available or, team needs a ride. There's a lot of factory seats in 250s, isn't there?
Yeah, no, 100%. And Colin Park is putting together a very sneaky good season. Like, yeah, he's been in the top five, had a podium at Foxborough, and you know, actually after the Foxborough race, he was I think he was only like 10 or 15 points behind, and I was like, geez, he ain't out of it yet. Phoenix Honda could sneak into the title fight here. But yeah, he's just putting together a really consistent season, and then and he's been up there mixing it up with the factory guys. So yeah, if a ride becomes available, yeah, like there's a lot of 250 rides out there, and like he could be a guy that could pick one of these up, and like it could take him to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's shaping up really good for those dudes. And obviously, predictions for this weekend, mate. What have you got? It's obviously the 450 classes, not a huge amount to select from, but 250s should be interesting, mate. Who have you got for each class this weekend, or just 450s, whatever you think, mate? Any memories? I don't think they've ever raced in Pittsburgh, have they? So there's probably
Nah,
not a lot for you to go on there.
never raced in Pittsburgh. Been through it a few times, and but yeah, never raced it. I think the closest I ever come to racing there was back in when they had Steel City. That was probably the closest I ever raced at that place. But yeah, it'll be interesting because yeah, like we'd never been to this one, which is always like what kind of dirt are they going to bring in? What's the soil going to be like? Obviously, we know the weather's going to be a factor, being an open air stadium, and they get some gnarly weather over that side of the country. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. If I had to pick, I mean, like 450 is gonna be like, I can see Chase winning again. I can see him winning three in a row. It'll be just the basics. It'll be Chase first, Coop second, Plessinger third. And I can see Hammaker going back to back on this one. I think he's really found his feet. It's a hometown race for him, being a Pennsylvania native. And like, yeah, just the momentum he's got. I think he's really going to carry this thing out because a lot of the guys, like, RJ's been struggling a little bit. Vial just doesn't seem to quite have the pace, although he could sneak in there at any given moment. And but yeah, I'd say Hammaker, probably Vial will get second at this one, and probably RJ third. I reckon that'd be my prediction really for this one.
Yeah, they sound good, mate. Looking forward to seeing how it pans out. And yeah, any final thoughts, mate? What's the week ahead look like? Obviously, Easter's a long weekend, so you had a few days off. You back on the tools tomorrow, mate? Back on the golf course? What's the week looking like for you?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, no, it was a good long weekend. Yeah, we went down to Townsville, caught up with our relatives and stuff, so that was nice. So yeah, yeah, it was a good long weekend, and yeah, unfortunately, I'm back into it tomorrow. Like we got some wet weather going on. We're currently building a fence at the moment at our house, so yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough sledding, but yeah, I'll be working on the golf game a bit during the week, getting ready for the comp this weekend. We got Anzac Day this weekend. It's not the worst work week ever because yeah, we only got 3 days. So yeah, I'll be hanging for Friday, paying respects to the Anzacs, and then straight onto the links, getting into it.
Oh, awesome, mate. Sounds like you dialed. And yeah, massive thanks for jumping on this one, mate. Been awesome as usual. Great to get back into it. And yeah, big thanks to all the listeners and all the viewers of the website. Massive shout out to the sponsors in Fly Racing, Dirt Store, Fuchs Silkaline, and Dragon Energy for all their support. As without them, none would be possible. All right, thanks again, Jat. It's been a ripper chat, mate, and we'll catch up next week. All the best.
Oh yeah, mate, absolutely. Sounds good.
Catch you, mate. Have a good one.